Coming to you live from the bridge. Tonight's guests include Miss Kacey Cunningham and special musical guest, Miss Whitney Baize Miller.
Tragedies are commonplace, all kinds of diseases, people are slipping away. The economy is down, people can't get enough pay. But as for me, all I can say is thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, folks without homes living out in the street. There's a drug habit, some say, that they just can't beat. Muggers and robbers, no place seems to be safe. But you've been my protection every step of the way. And I gotta say, thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah, yeah. It could have been me outdoors with no food and with no clothes. I could have been all left alone without a friend or just another number with the tragic end. God, I'm thankful you didn't see fit to let none of these things be. Every day by your power, yes, you keep on keeping me. I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. It could have been me outdoors. Yes, that could have been me with no food. It could have been you with no clothes. You could have left me all alone without a friend or just another number with the tragic end. God, I'm thankful you didn't see fit to let none of these things be. Every day is by your power. You keep on keeping me. I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah, I gotta say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Thank
All right. Look, I'll call you back because I gotta get ready. All right. Love you too. Bye-bye. Welcome to the bridge, everybody. Look, I am so excited to be here with you all on this evening. Look, I need you to do me a favor. Go ahead and like, share, comment. Let everybody know that Bridge the Gap J is on. We have an excellent show in store for you all on this evening. Look, last week, were y'all just as shocked as I was that our timeline was just blowing up with this Will and Chris Rock situation? Look, we're gonna have to talk about that whole situation because everybody's talking about what they would have done, what they wouldn't have done, and all that great stuff right there. But look, man, he did pop him though, didn't he? Yeah, he slapped him. But look, I ain't got time to talk about that because look, I got Kacey Cunningham in the building. I got Whitney Baize Miller in the building. I know y'all probably just finished listening to one of her songs. Isn't she amazing? Look, y'all need to go ahead and try to book her for whatever event y'all got. But look, for right now, let's go. I got to get out of this. I got to change so we can have our wonderful show. Like, share, comment. Again, send us in your feedback. Tell us what you like. Tell us some ideas of who you would like to see us interview on the show. Look, engage with us. Love you, hearts, everything. Love you, hearts. Put them hearts on there. Put them thumbs up. I got to go. See ya. Welcome back to the bridge. Go ahead and like, share, comment. Let a friend know, let a neighbor know that Bridge the Gap J is on. And today, my lovely guest is none other than Miss Kacey Cunningham. How are you doing, Miss Kacey?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for coming to the Bridge Show.
My pleasure.
Look, you have so much going on. I see it on social media, follow you. But before we get into all that Kacey has going on, I got a question. It's a word we do just to see what comes to the top of your mind when you hear the word family.
Okay, family. When I think of the word family, I would have to think back to a period when I was younger. My mother and my aunt have lived side by side ever since I was born. And that was me and my sister, as well as our cousin, just running back and forth from house to house every day. Now to have my own daughter and for my mother and my aunt to still reside in those same houses and to watch her now be able to run back and forth from house to house. I don't live far from my mother and my aunt. So for my daughter to be able to walk to her grandmother's house, to walk to her great aunt's house, for her to walk to her church, that is what I think about when I think of family.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have that close-knit seem like anymore. Where it's like families, they grow apart and come home, but like you said, for your daughter to experience somewhat of that same journey that you did growing up, that's awesome. So now you have a company, multiple companies I believe that you started. One that I want to ask you about that I was reading on is Cazelle. Did I say that correct?
That's correct. Cazelle and Company.
Cazelle and Company. Now, what is Cazelle and Company?
Cazelle and Company. First, I'll start with the meaning of the name. Cazelle is Kacey and Giselle, which is my daughter's name put together. The basis of that company is a nonprofit organization where we focus on family engagement and we focus on the early stages of youth development.
Okay. Now, how did that company come about? What prompted it? What sparked that?
You actually hit it on the nail on the head when you mentioned earlier how we no longer have the close knit of the families, to where families have seemed to been pulled apart, grown apart for whatever reason. And I feel also that the city and the communities have been lacking somewhat of an engagement with our younger generations. So I felt like it was time to get a group of phenomenal women together. Myself, my sister Kelly Cunningham, Kashana Galloway, LaShawn Farmer, Valerie Terry. We came together with a mission and a purpose of just bringing families together, and then also mentoring young children.
Well, you know, I got to throw something out here, because this is me and you. I want to know why the brothers always left out. Why I got to be just why the ladies, just ladies?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you actually mentioned that. One of our programs is Like Father, Like Son.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we actually,
Put me in my place. Put me in my
but
place.
no, and just to even pinpoint more about what you're talking about, with the Like Father, Like Son program, we do a podcast called Shop View, where we're going into barbershops and we're having that talk. The host of the show is Marcus Luck, and we have conversations often, and I've asked him, you know, Marcus, you make sense, you know, when you talk, you know, we have great conversations, and I said, you know, why don't you speak on this more? And his response back to me was, no one's ever asked me.
Wow.
So just for him to even make that comment, you know, that majority of the time it is women who are the ones speaking up.
Right.
Men feel like they aren't asked, you know, so that's why that's the purpose of the podcast, is just strictly just to get men views.
Wow, and I actually caught one of you guys' podcasts. Shout out to Marcus Luck. Y'all was up in the barbershop, which one of the conversations that I think we need to do a roundtable discussion on was blended families.
Blended families.
Because many people, you know, they don't understand that whole concept of being a blended family. When you have, you know, two couples just coming together, because for me personally, me and my wife were in a blended family. So we found ways to make all of that work. So shout out to you as well for that. What is it called? Like Father?
The program is called Like Father, Like Son.
Yeah. And see, I like it because really statistically it says that there are more active fathers now, shout out to the bros,
there are.
That have stepped up to the plate. So no longer should the fathers get just socks on Father's Day. I'm just throwing that out there, you know. No, they do me good. They do me good. But so that is awesome. Now I also understand you have like four main principles, kind of like that you.
Yes.
Did y'all speak to?
The 4 principles that we pretty much rely on are going to be respect, commitment, transparency, and consistency.
Respect. When you hit what comes to your mind about with respect?
Oh wow! Respect in the home. Respect of I don't want to. This is a whole other podcast. Respect in the home. Within the family. Respect of the father, the mother. Respect between siblings, between the family unit. Respect in the education world. Respect of your teachers, your peers, the staff. That's where we got respect from.
Well, let's go down the little line then. Commitment.
Commitment. Going all the way.
Wow, yes.
Going all the way. I always say, a lot of people say, you know, if you're going to go 1 mile, you might as well go 2. The old saying, we didn't come this far to stop now.
I know that's right.
So you have to be committed, and you have to go full force in anything if you're wanting to succeed at it.
Transparency.
Being able to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. We as people go through a lot, and sometimes we feel like we may have to hold back, or we feel like we should shield certain parts of ourselves because we don't want to be judged, or because we don't want to be labeled, or because we don't want to be criticized. But in order for someone else to heal, or in order for a child to know I can make a mistake and I can still become better, you have to be able to be transparent.
And that's good, because I used to say, when I would watch my mom, I noticed that there were some friends that she used to have when I was growing up that as I got older, she didn't have them anymore. And many times parents do not share with their kids how they separated or distanced themselves from some of those toxic relationships. And like you said, now if we can offer that transparency, that's key. All right, consistency.
Consistency. starting and stopping. I think that a lot of people, especially our children, they see where we might start one thing and they get used to it, but then it stops. I think that we need to, it has to be a repetitive. Once we become comfortable, once we start mentoring, it has to be a consistent level, and it has to be on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, there's one more thing that I saw that maybe, hopefully you can speak to it, that caught my curiosity. What is Project Imagine?
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Project Imagine.
Project Imagine it's a program with the city of Danville, a gang prevention program for teenagers. That is a program that we have actually collaborated with, and I'm going to use your tagline, to bridge the gap. They're doing teenagers, and we want Cosell & Co. We thought, okay, let's partner with them to do early stages, early youth development, get them in elementary, get them in middle school before they even reach that level of gang prevention or before they reach that. Right. So we wanted to pretty much bridge that gap to make sure that all ages were covered.
Wow. And I know my first show here, I had our mayor on, Alonzo Jones, and he did speak about even how now gang prevention in the city of Danville has gone down. It's gone down. So much so that they have changed their focus a little bit now. So it's like, I think it's not mistaken, on education. Which you mentioned. So that's good, because if I always say we can get something where we can do preventive care, most of the time we wait till something has escalated to
we're effective instead of being effective.
Yeah, it's like, come on now, why, so that's good that you're doing preventive. Now, we've gotten all the formalities out of the way, and there's a couple of personal questions that the viewers want to know.
The viewers want to know.
The viewer wants to know.
Okay.
The viewer wants to know. So we got to give the viewers what they want. But before that, there is one more thing though. You have another company that deals with catering, correct?
Yes.
And what is the name of that one?
That is J. Kathleen's Catering and Events.
Yeah, because I've seen some tasty food on that you've been advertising on there. So what do you all do in that regard?
Well, in that regard, we are a full service catering staff for any type of event. No event is too big or too small.
Wow. So how, before we go, how can people get in contact with you and all these various branches to you? Oh,
wow. Of course, my social media handle is Kacey Cunningham. For Cosell & Company, we are Cosell & Company on Facebook. We also have a website, which is cosellco.org. We also are on Instagram as Cosell & Company, and we are on LinkedIn. You can also follow the J. Kathleen's and Events page on Facebook as well.
Wow. So all of that is going to be streamed along. You'll see that, because it's a lot, but hey, we want you guys to be able to take advantage of all that she has to offer, her and her team. Now, as we were sitting here, and I don't even know, the camera may have gotten that, but someone had messaged and said they saw that you was going to be on, and they said, "Is Kacey single?"
Nobody messaged you that.
Yes. I didn't want you to pull it up.
No. Please
I ain't gonna do it to you, bro. I ain't gonna do it to you. They want to know. The people want to know. Is Kacey single?
Yes, Kacey is single.
Oh! See, I had one of my other friends that come on. I ain't gonna say that. You'll see it. He was telling me that he was single and ready to mingle. So we didn't know if Kacey was single. So y'all heard it. You heard it from her. She's single. So Kacey.
Yes, sir.
What are some pet peeves of Kacey? What is some?
Are we doing a dating podcast?
Hey,
we doing a dating podcast now?
We just assume, the people like, they like the juice. They like, look.
I want them to come as themselves. I don't want them already knowing what my pet peeves are.
Well, give one. I know, because guys do sometimes try to form themselves to.
Yes, they
do. Yeah, well, psychology tells us that when you meet a person for the first time, you really don't meet them. You meet their representative.
That is very true.
So, well, since we already know, they still tell the people at least something that Kacey doesn't, that may irk her? Outside of liars, you know, everybody don't like liars.
Okay. Well, I'll have to go back to inconsistency.
Part of the 4 principles.
Part of my 4 principles. Anything against my 4 principles are pet peeves.
Wow. So guys, I think that speaks to, for a lot of ladies, you know, what's that? We have respect, commitment, transparency, and consistency. Let me ask you, before we go, because we got now male, female now, you know, okay? Because I done had a whole lot of guys on the show, you know, so now we got a young lady on here.
Am I the first?
I believe you're the first.
Look at God.
You're the first. You're the first.
Okay.
Look at God.
Okay.
So, let me see. The word is communication.
Okay.
How?
What's the word? Are we gonna take it there?
Yeah, we're gonna take it there. We're gonna take it there.
How much time we got?
we got some time. You know, the people like it, share it now. They tuned in. They tuned in now. They really wanna. So, how important is communication? We done changed gears. For those of you that know how to drive a stick shift, you know, you got first, second, third, you know, you got shift. So I done pressed the clutch and I done changed gears now. We going somewhere. Okay. So how important is communication in relationship? Since you got the Gazelle company, we done did the 4 principles. To me, that's totality, relationship. Okay. How important is communication?
I don't want to use cliché. It's very important. More so how we communicate, how much we communicate, the ways that we communicate.
So would you agree that the way females communicate is different from that of how men communicate?
It's very different. I think it's understanding your partner. It's understanding the ways that your partner responds. It's ways that the same way I communicate with Michael may not be the same way that Billy is able to understand when I communicate. So it's basically you learning your partner in the best way to communicate in ways that you both can understand.
Okay, now you said, I'm gonna catch on the words, learning your partner.
Yes.
Okay. Now, because some people feel that if they have been dating for a certain 1, 2 years, maybe 3 years, that it should be, now we should be going into either courting or marriage. Mm-hmm. Is there a time limit on learning the mate, or is it a continuous process?
Continuous. I'm a firm believer that even in any relationship, a business relationship, a romantic relationship, and a friendship, you should be constantly growing. You should be constantly growing. So the more that a man or a woman grows, that's something else that partner has to learn. That's something else that partner has to study. The same way we go to school to get master's degrees and doctorates and all of these different professions, we need to be getting master's degrees and in our partners.
That's a degree in your partner. PhD.
Right.
In your partner. You should. Learning your. But that's good because again, communication or the lack of is the cause of a lot of situations and relationships going south. Yeah, they're souring. Now, being throughout this whole pandemic, I've noticed that it seems like there are a lot of relationships that didn't stand the test of time. Do you think that the quarantine was helpful or it hurt some of the relationships?
I think it depends on the foundation of that relationship. How did you start the relationship? I was able to actually build a lot of friendships and relationships during the quarantine process, and setting that foundation of not being able to see each other, but actually being able to strictly communicate through phone, through FaceTime, through email, just being able to build a friendship by talking alone and not even that physical connection where you're able to meet someone, I think builds a strong relationship. So if you go in with the right intentions and with the right motives, then the quarantine was in a position to actually help relationships become stronger.
Wow. Now, before we go, we have about a couple of more minutes left. I want to ask you, because you, as we would say, you know, you have a good head on your shoulders.
I
as they
try.
say. You got a good head on your shoulders, and we know that you didn't get to this point by yourself, in a sense. Who has been most influential in your life?
That would be my mother, hands down. My mother is, and I don't want to get emotional, to be a single mother and a woman of faith, I'll say that. A woman of faith, a single mother raising 2 children. I've seen sacrifice. I've seen her go without to make sure that we had. I've seen her use her last, and for not 1 second did I see her lose her faith. I've never seen her. I've seen her have moments of weakness, but she didn't allow that to affect her motherhood. She always put us first. She's the basis of my Christianity, of my spirituality. She's the epitome of unconditional love, and I don't think people really realize what unconditional love really is. And for a period of my time when I call it a season of when I call it the hurt that birthed. It was a season a couple of years ago where my mother had to physically see me at my lowest. And I had friends walk away, I had family walk away, but my mother literally unconditionally loved me out of all of my mistakes. So she would have to be the most influential person in my life.
Wow. Now, I believe if we had a studio audience, they'd be like, my producer.
No, this is
my producer,
it's real. It's real.
And we got transparency. She was
real.
transparent on the bridge. Now, last month, in March, we had basically the celebration of the first African-American court justice. I can't say her name. I think it's Ketanji Brown. It's Ketanji Brown Jackson,
yes.
I believe. And I know we're still in a process of all that, but she showed so much poise with herself. But as a young African American doing all that you do, and to see not only to see what Michelle Obama, you know, but now to see the first Supreme Court justice be nominated as a Black African American woman, how does that make you feel as an African American young lady?
I think in many different professions, we've had a lot of beautiful African American women who have laid the foundation in a lot of different professions as the first. It serves as a reminder that we deserve to be here, that we're worthy enough to be here, regardless of the color of our skin, regardless of where we come from, regardless of us being a woman. We can have a seat at the table, and we can be the only African American woman at that table, surrounded around multiple races and all men. We have the resilience, we have the gall, we have, I don't want to say gall.
Right.
We got all
with all.
So it serves as a very strong reminder that even as an African American woman, we have the right to be at the table.
That's right. Well, you heard it from Kacey Cunningham herself. Look, I believe this is the year of the woman. Women are rising up and taking seats, taking their rightful positions. And look, men, we just have to be supporters. You know, hey, that doesn't demote our manhood or anything of that nature to support strong African American young ladies. So now, Kacey, as we get ready to go off the air, could you say, give an encouraging word to a young girl or someone that's watching right now, give them something encouraging to leave with them before we go?
Okay. I'll always end with my favorite scripture. It is Psalms 73:26. And I'm going to give my own rendition of it. My flesh and my heart may fail. That's no matter how many mistakes you make, no matter how many times you fall down. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength and the portion of my heart forever.
You heard it from her. We went from the
We've covered all
business side.
bases.
We didn't cover it all. You've heard it all. Now we're going to go to another part of the segment. We have a wonderful singer that's coming up next. So look, like, share, comment. Don't miss the bridge. So until next week, Monday at 8 p.m., don't miss the bridge. Thank you, Kacey, so
You're
much.
more than welcome. I enjoyed it.
And please stay tuned for Miss Whitney Baize Miller.
All right, and we're back. Welcome back to the bridge. My special guest singer today is none other than Whitney Baize Miller. How are you doing, Whitney?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing well. Look, tell the people, where are you from?
From Eden, North Carolina.
Eden, North Kakalaki. So what song are you going to be singing today for us?
I'll be singing Better Days by Leandria Johnson.
All right, better days are coming for you. Better days are coming for me. So look, Whitney, go ahead and take us into the next segment.
It feels cold and you feel all alone, but hold on, 'cause better days are coming. It can be rough in this world. Yes, I know it ain't easy, but hang on in there. I know are coming. You've seen good, you've seen bad, you've been happy and sad, but just remember that your better days